welcome back to MaxMe at TheInformer. I am so delighted to be rejoined by Dana. So Dana joined me in a conversation around Gen Zs a few weeks back, and she's back with us today. I was really taken by the conversation, and Dana actually has done some work with me in the past. She was part of an interview that was done for a newspaper, so an article that was written around the quarter-life crisis. And I wanted to have the opportunity to have a conversation with Dana about this topic, this concept of young folk in their 20s having this quarter-life crisis. So we'll explore that today and a couple of other things. Without further ado, Dana, welcome back.
Hi, thanks for having me back, Renata.
Thank you for joining, Dana. You're a wonderful young lady, and I really appreciate, I know this is not something that you do a lot of. I know we were talking about the fact that the last one was your first time on camera.
Yes, definitely. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but it's good, it's exciting. It's important to talk about this kind of stuff.
And comfort zone stuff, right? Take yourself out of the comfort zone.
Exactly.
So I think we'll just launch. I think the viewers sort of have met you last time, but you're mid-20s, Dana. You are very successful. You've had a number of marketing roles. You love what you do.
Yeah.
But we talked about this sort of the reality bites type of scenario that we are actually seeing a lot in the market research that we're doing. So I just wanted to sort of hear from you around this concept of the quarter-life crisis. What has that looked like for you, for your peers? What is it starting to present as?
Well, I feel like, for me and for my peers especially, like everything that I've noticed is everyone's on their own kind of journey and their own pathway into this new workforce. And I feel like everyone's at different steps of their lives as well. So what may be my quarter-life crisis may be their, early quarter crisis, a late quarter crisis, depending on kind of where they've come from and what they've gotten on, like what their pathway has led to. So in my case, I worked really, really extremely hard. As soon as I got out of high school, I went straight into a university degree. I just wanted to kind of jump into the environment as fast as I could and learn everything that I could as well. So whilst I was studying, I was also doing full-time work on the side in retail. I was volunteering, I was doing internships. I was just trying to put myself and get as much experience as I could to help me enter the workforce properly when my degree finished. And I was really successful at that too. So that's something that, I think is great on my behalf. But I think what I didn't realize is that all this work that I put myself into, like I'm talking, I was working full-time, I was at uni full-time, and then in the space that I had free, I was, doing internships, volunteering, I was building up a social media platform, I was doing everything I could to expose myself to this industry because I'd learnt how hard it is to get into there and to be successful, and I've learnt that the small pool of applicants is just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So what I ended up doing was I got a role out of uni, which was great. I also got a second role, which I worked on the side, and I experienced a huge burnout. So just putting myself way into work, learning as much as I could, doing too much, and I didn't really have time to sit back and reflect and even learn what I liked doing about my roles as well, or learn about where I wanted to go in the future. So I got to a point where I was overworked. I had all this information coming at me. I was probably unprepared for the industry as well. Even though I worked so hard and I did so many different roles getting into there, it was very different to what I had imagined and what I'd learned at uni to prepare me. So I sat back and I was like, what do I want to do? I kind of reflected, and I ended up quitting my job, all of them, and traveling overseas just to kind of get some space and to learn about who I am and what I wanted to do. So it was a really tricky decision, and I feel like I'm still in my quarter-life crisis. Like I'm back at work now, but I'm still unsure about the path that I want to take and where I want to be in 5 years' time and what I want to do. So it's a huge part of, I think, our lives, and like my friends have also experienced this, where they've changed degrees or they've gotten into the workforce, haven't liked it, and gone back to studying because we're just not as prepared as what we thought we'd be, thanks to our universities.
And I think, we've been talking quite a bit about this topic. So I think, I got to know you and your story really well. I wanted to start pause and say, you've talked about your high school as being quite a, there was sort of quite a bohemian experience that you had in high school. Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, I loved my high school. I think they really set us up for success. It was a high school where if you wanted to put yourself forward and to learn and to be academic, like we weren't pushed, we had to do that ourselves, which was, I think it was really a great way to learn as well, like to be confident at our age and to know what we want to do. I went to a school where everyone was very on the same level. There was no hierarchy of, I guess, teachers. I'm trying to figure out the word to best explain it, but basically we were left to our own devices.
But you were supported?
Yes, but we were supported. So that's why it's a little bit tricky to kind of talk about. But basically, the school I went to, like we had no bells, so we had to be responsible for our own timing of coming to class. Wow. Obviously, we got reprimanded if we were late, and that's something that we had to learn, but it really put the onus on us to show up on time and to be really responsible for what we were doing during our time too. So we called our teachers by their first names, which gave us a really great level of respect for each other as well.
And connection, I imagine.
Definitely.
How did you find that helped you with the transition to uni, Dana? Because I think, I speak to a lot of parents who talk about, the kids are not coping with the transition. But I know that you've told me in the past that actually the transition wasn't as challenging. Do you think it's because of your high school experience?
I think it was, yeah, because I'd already kind of put that, I was so responsible at my age, like, school really helped me kind of develop who I was as a person and communicate better, like with my teachers and my peers, because we had a really great respect for each other. And I feel like going into university, it was a lot different, but a lot of the times the same as well. And I just kind of went in with ease. I remember, when I went to university, I actually chose my university because I knew no one there. So unlike other students who wanted to go to a university which was close to them or they had friends, I was really wanting to believe that I wanted to go to my course, and that's the course I wanted to do, even though it was an hour away and I knew nobody else going there. I was like, I need to do this. And it was very easy because I had those communication skills and my school had prepared me for that transition to uni. So it was something that I really enjoyed, doing and going to uni.
Did your school have an obsession with ATAR and marks? Did you get a sense when you were going through school that all, like you were sort of, if you didn't get a great ATAR, you didn't do well? Was that sense at school?
It wasn't, which was really refreshing. Obviously, we had really great academics, and our teachers really pushed us and encouraged us and offered, extra sessions or gave us as much help
if you wanted that.
Yeah, if we wanted that. But it's something that we had to take up. My school was very arts focused, so they really, really encouraged theatre and drama and musical performance, which I think it shows, because all of the people that I went to school with are these fantastic, informed, confident people. And whilst we also had our ATAR to work towards, our focus was about just doing well and doing what we wanted to be doing as well.
And becoming sort of self-actualizing into a great human.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's interesting, I've been online communicating and sort of contributing to a conversation around humanities.
Yeah.
The government is actually charging more for humanities degrees now. They're actually almost penalising students who want to do humanity degrees at university, whereas there's a whole school of thinking around how the humanities better prepare you from a human point of view. What's your thought on that?
I agree. I really do agree. I think that the humanities it's what we needed to kind of learn in order to become who we were. It's such an important part of schooling, and
drama and music and expressing yourself and learning to be okay with that.
Yeah, just learning to be creative as well, because creation comes with any role in the workforce. You need to have creative thinking, and you need to kind of think outside the box in a lot of scenarios. And I think these subjects really help kind of help people to be self-aware as well and discover what they like doing. And I think, they're probably the subjects that I know it's really, but English and maths and things, they're incredible subjects for incredible people, but there's something about those creative subjects that really make someone a lot more, I don't know, easier to connect with and to communicate with, because you learn those skills in those subjects.
And a balanced person. I know that you're right. People who prefer engineering and the STEM subjects, it's so important. You need those technical skills. But some of the things that are coming through from, you know, those that sort of specialise in those is that lack of creativity, that lack of communication, that lack of connection that some of the humanities brings about.
Yeah, I think it's great to have, like you said, the perfect balance, because I think both of them are so important, and, you know, it's important to step outside of your comfort zone as well, which I think a lot of these subjects teach people to do. Yeah.
Dana, thank you so much for joining.
That's
I really
right.
feel blessed that you've spent so much time with us and really sharing your story and your experience. It's been wonderful to learn from, so thank you for joining.
That's all right. Thank you so much for having me, Renata.
And thanks viewers for joining another episode of MaxMe, TheInformer. We'll see you next time. Bye.